Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? My name is Tony Rizano, and this is episode 316 of the world famous, the University Love, the best podcast in 1, 2, 3 galaxies. But, ladies and gentlemen, you and I, we just call it Online Marketing Moves. And we are coming to you live today. Today is June the 24th, 2021. It's the time of this recording. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Thursday. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Today, ladies and gents, we are going to talk about something that's very important. All right. Now, first things I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you a quick story and how it relates to this episode of the podcast. Now, one day when I was full blown over the road truck driving, I remember, I'll never forget this. I was in Oklahoma. I was on I-44. I was at a travel plaza. They have these travel plazas in Oklahoma. You know, you pay a toll road, and then, on I-44, you pay a toll road, and then they have these travel plazas you can stop at. It was a very sunny day, very hot day. I remember this. It's hot. I remember I stopped. I was done for the night. I stopped. I went in. I got me some McDonald's. I remember I walked back out, and then I looked. It went from sunny to all of a sudden, boom. It was pitch black. It was dark. It was very cloudy. And I was like, what is going on? And I just felt this wind started whipping around the truck. And it was like, whoo, very strong wind, rocking the truck back and forth. And I'm like, hold on, man, what just happened? I was like, it was hot all day long. Hot, hot, hot. And I mean, in a matter of boom, like that, all of a sudden it started having these big winds, this like massive downpour rain. It was just awful. And I was like, what happened? And it's just like the storm came, and it was just no warning, no nothing, no hesitation, no nothing. Just, hey man, I'm here. Boom, here's the storm. And it lasted for like 4 hours, and then it stopped. And then the next morning it was just right back to being sunny, right back to being hot. And I'm just like, that was so strange, because normally sometimes you get most of the time you get a warning of, you're like, all right, clouds are rolling in, but these clouds, they came quick, boom, and boom, they just started like that. And storms happen to all of us, and it can happen in no matter what facet of life we're talking about, relationships, business, anything. Storms do happen. But what you must do when during a storm, pull out your umbrella so you don't get as wet as you should. All right. You should definitely be prepared. You should definitely realize, hey, bad things are gonna happen. What can I do about them? You know what you can do about them? Absolutely nothing. I listen to this guy named Jim Rohn, and he talks about this sometimes. He talks about, harvesting the crops. He's like, sometimes you plant the seed, you plant the crop, and then life just takes it away sometimes, It might be a deep freeze, Let's say you're in Florida, you're growing oranges. And then one January, it's like 20 degrees. Your orange crop is going to take a hit, you know what I mean? And these things happen. Doesn't mean it's going to happen all the time. Doesn't mean it's going to happen every year. But sometimes, some years, it just happens to be that way. And that's going to be the same when it comes to running a business. Some days, listen, sometimes it's just like the content you produce. Some days you're going to get like 1,000, 2,000 views. You're gonna be like, wow. And then some days you're gonna get 50, and you'll feel like, what happened? What happened? And it's part of this. These kind of things happen. You know what I mean? There might be one month where you make $25,000. There might be another month where you make $500 in a month. You know what I mean? And those are just minor storms. These things happen. Let it roll off your back. Don't get too upset. Don't get too, mad. Don't get very annoyed because storms are gonna happen. Storms happen all the time. You know what I mean? I walked outside today. We got the pool going, got the pool fixed, got everything going in the backyard. Then I look, and what did I see? I see a little slight crack in the fence. And I'm like, okay, boom, there it goes. I said, look at this fence. I said, because we just had a couple years ago, we had a good stretch of the fence fixed. But now it's like one little spot, and it's not a bad spot. So I can, what I'm gonna do is cut it off early before it gets bigger. So call somebody next week, have somebody come out, take a look at it, patch it up, boom, boom, boom. That's it. You know what I mean? Like those are just minor things. These kind of things happen. We all have to realize that. If you own a house, you have to realize that storms are gonna happen. Some storms are bigger than others. It's just like me and my wife. We had two problems going at the same time. We had a bad water leak in the pipes, so we had to get the pipes fixed. We also had water that was already built up in the bathroom. We had a water leak in the bathroom as well, but we really didn't realize that. And so we had to get. It was a big storm. Two things fixed around the same time, and it wound up costing us 10, 11, $12,000, something like that. But we're out of that situation, and of course, we have just minor things now. So what I'm telling you is, don't get discouraged. Don't get woe is me, woe is me. Don't have that attitude. Don't have the defeatist attitude. Just grab your umbrella. Just grab your umbrella, open it up, let the storm pass, man. And everything's gonna be all right. Everything's gonna work out. It's just things are gonna happen. It's just like, let's say you do this big email campaign, and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna launch, and you have these people, they tell these stories, like they launch something, a campaign, or they launch a business, they launch a product, and it goes crickets, and what can you do? Are you gonna say, man, that's it, it's over with? No, it's a drizzle. It's a slight drizzle, you just grab a coat, put on your hood, and you're like, all right, what can I do to what can I do to change this? What can I do to get some people to buy the product? What can I do to get some people to eyeball this, this product or this business? You know what I mean? Like, figure it out. It's never as bad as you want it to be. It's not as, a lot of people, they like to tell us, a lot of people, they like to swim in the story, you know what I mean? And so they turn a storm into a tsunami. They turn a light drizzle into a flood. You know what I mean? Like, they overdo it, make it go overboard, and I don't want that for you. So you see the storm, you see the storm coming. Protect yourself. Always know it's gonna happen. Know that, hey, this is why you're an entrepreneur. You want to have some money saved up. This is why, if producing content, you want to have content saved up, because you never know when these storms are going to occur. You never know when you're going to need to pull out the reservoir. You know what I mean? So always be prepared. Always be prepared. Keep the umbrella tight. Keep the umbrella close, and just watch out. Because these things are going to happen. It's not like everything's going to be hunky dory. Unfortunately, no, it's not going to be that. And the more prepared you are, the easier it will be. You won't sweat the technique. You know what I mean? You won't be like calling everybody, crying and whining about everything, because honestly, nobody really cares about your, hey man, nobody bought my product. Like, your friends and family, they like you anyway. They love you, so they don't really, they're like, oh, that's too bad. You're gonna be like, no, you don't understand, and they're gonna be like, I don't care. I don't care. Get out of here. So you have to get over yourself, and that's one thing that it's like. My brother bought a car, and then my brother turned around and told me, he said, I gotta pay like $3,000 for the tags on the car. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, man, that's a lot of money. I didn't know I was gonna have to. It's like, You buying a 2020 car, what do you expect to pay? You know, like you're not gonna. I had a 92 Buick, and I paid $5 for tags on the car. I think $20 was the most I paid. You know, and he's complain for the taxes. You know, for the tag for the tax on the car or whatever. But my brother, he bought a 2020, and he's like, I can't believe I got to pay $2,900. It's like, what'd you expect? You know, you're gonna pay that much, so it is what it is. You have to just live with it, deal with it, and move on. So, suck it up. It doesn't matter what it doesn't matter what storm comes and what asset and what facet of your life. The main and most important thing is shit. Always be prepared. Be prepared. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. You know what I mean? Like just know that it's coming. And I want to emphasize that when it comes to this whole business thing. Like everything's not gonna be hunky dory all the time. Everything's not gonna be, hey man, it's I'm making $2 million a month, because I heard stories about people getting like their merchant account shut down. They're like had $1 million in there and they got shut down, and it's like, wow, that's crazy. Or somebody launches something and it doesn't go like they thought it would. It falls kind of short, it falls kind of flat, and there's all kind of situations that you have to be prepared for. And a lot of people these days, they want to be entrepreneurs, but that's the key word. They want to be. They're not prepared. They're not ready. They're not ready for the realistic views of the entrepreneurship, of running your business, of creating something new. They just want they want to just go on social media and get pats on the back and claps. I see all these people now. A lot of people, they're like, "Hey, I got approved for LLC." It's like, listen, the government takes all your money. If you just have a name, you could come up. If you just have a name that nobody has thought of for an LLC, like or create starting a business, like they'll take your money. Don't get me wrong, they'll take your money, but that's not the accomplishment that you want. You want to start producing income, and don't look, people got to stop looking for everybody to bail them out when it comes to storms, when it comes to, applause, all that stuff, so, but definitely be prepared when it comes to storms because, there's always going to be something, is I tell my wife, me and my wife, we had this discussion a lot, like, all right, today was a small fire, and today was a small fire, hopefully we can just have small fires and put them out, the big fire is like, oh boy, but it's annoying. But it's like, all right, we got grab me the fire extinguisher, and I'll put it out. Aim for the base of the head, of course, when it comes to a fire. But when it comes to the storms, just be prepared. Always be prepared. Be on the lookout. I'm not saying you don't enjoy life, but you have to realize, hey, I'm working on something. I'm working on something new. Working on something unique. Working on something that's for me. And there's gonna be bumps in the road, and that's all right because it's for you. That's the one thing that you have to think about. Say, hey, this stuff might be tough, but hey, this stuff is for me. This is for me. It's for my family. I'm doing it for, I'm doing it for me. You're doing it for you. You're doing it for a loved one, doing it for a parent, a cousin, a mother, a brother, father, sister, whatever, whoever you're doing it for. Just think about these folks. Think about yourself when it comes to these bumps in the road, All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it for the podcast today. Drive through the storms, drive with caution, drive carefully, be prepared, and everything will work out for you. All right. Just know there's going to be bumps in the road, and that's all right because you can handle the bumps in the road. And if you can't handle the bump in the road, then you don't need to be in business for yourself anyway. Just stick to the job. All right. I know, really. Stick to the job. And there's nothing wrong with that. Some people cannot handle it, and it's all right. And it's fine. It's not a big deal, If you know you can't handle it, then that's the most important thing about any of this stuff. The most important thing about anything in life is to know yourself. If you know yourself, you're already 8 steps ahead of the game. All right. But ladies and gentlemen, that's it for the podcast. That's it for the day. We'll be back tomorrow with all new episode of Online Marketing Moves. But until then, my name is Tony Rizzano. Thank you for listening. And as always, everybody, peace.